Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the last 10 surah of the Quran, Tajweed lessons. Jazakallah. Alhamdulillah, we've covered Surah Fatiha, Surah Fil, Surah Quraysh, and Surah Ma'un, and inshallah today we shall be covering Surah Kawthar, inshallah. Just before I get started, actually, I just wanted to just quickly mention that Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah for all the feedback that's been received so far by all the participants and everyone that's been liking videos on YouTube and liking the videos on the IGTVs, and to be quite honest, I didn't expect the videos to blow up quite as it did. So Alhamdulillah, it's only through the mercy and the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I'm able to benefit many others. And it's also, I think, the initial reason was to just try and help out a few people in terms of the Tajweed recitation, and especially after teaching in madrasa for a few years, I felt as though I could use my skills to help others. But it's also for this reason, it's made me feel very conscious about the fact that because obviously I am teaching quite a few people and quite a few people are taking notice of it, then I need to ensure that my level is also at a good level. So I have been reaching out and I have been sending my clips and sending lots of voice recordings to many certified. I am not a certified qari. I am not I'm not a special qurra. I'm just someone that's just taken a passion in tajweed from a young age. That's all it is. So alhamdulillah, I do have a strong network around me, so I have been reaching out to many qurra, especially qaris local, and people from abroad as well, inshallah, who have been providing me with some feedback in regards to my recitation. Alhamdulillah, majority has been positive. I think there was just one thing that someone mentioned to me, which I thought obviously I need to mention to the viewers as well, inshallah, is that when reciting the letter la, then to make sure there's no taqrar of ra, meaning whenever you're reciting a full mouth la, then you're not reading the la you're not reading it multiple times. So you're not reading Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It's Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And it's something that I'm also adapting to myself. And the way that I'm kind of doing it myself, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I'm kind of curling my tongue at the top like that, if that makes sense. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, so I just wanted to just quickly mention that. So I am also trying to push myself in terms of my own recitation and my own level, and I actually will be starting a qari course soon after Ramadan, inshallah. So just make dua for me. Right, okay, let's get started on Surah Al-Kawthar. And just before we start, this is obviously the shortest Quran. This is the shortest surah in the Quran, and obviously this is going to be a very common surah that people recite, especially in Salah, just because of how short it is and convenient it is. So I think this is a key surah to learn and to ensure that the tajweed is right for that, and to make sure that we're reciting it well and reciting it beautifully. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر. So first part, E, okay, active voice, E, not E, smile, in, from the nose, inna, the noon alif is like mentioned yesterday, it's a letter of mud, and as you can see on here, there's a little squiggly line, which means that we're going to stretch it for the duration of 3 alifs, meaning 3 seconds. So إنا And just on the subject of mud, actually, I was having a funny conversation with the children in madrasa today, and we were just discussing the letters of mud. So obviously we have the a, e, u. So we have a alif with a fatha before it gives the a sound. We have a waw with a dhamma before it gives the u sound. And we have the ya sukun, and before that we have the if you have the kasra before it, then gives the e sound. So I was telling everyone to say a, e, u, a, e, u, and they were all laughing, obviously, because we were all just making silly noises. And one of them just actually made an interesting comment, and they said, Mosabi, sounds like you're saying I eat you. I eat you. And I was just like, no, that's not what I'm saying, but that's a funny way of remembering it. So if you want to remember the letters of mud, just think of the phrase I eat you. Okay, don't go out and say it to people, but just think of it as yourself. Just a funny way of remembering I eat you. I eat u. I eat u. I eat. It just rhymes together. Anyways. إِنَّا أَعْطَيْنَاكَ Okay, there's a slight the ayn sound from the throat, and making sure here we are not. So here this is a very common mistake, because the first letter alif is the same as a hamza. We have an alif and then we have an ayn. Okay, so it's very common for students to pray the ayn first and then the alif, or to pray to pray the ayn as a hamza, because the ayn, when you look at it, it looks like it does look like a hamza, but a hamza wouldn't connect to a letter like that, and the ayn is obviously bigger. So we have to make sure that we're praying okay, so not not we're not mixing it about. We're just praying toy, and again no qalqala on the ayn. It's not or it's not we're doing a qalqala, meaning a bounce. Okay, it's going to come back to you. أعطيناك طي طا فتحة طا, full mouth letter طا طا طا. Fill your cheeks with air. Look at the cheeks. طا 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 طا. Comes out, it blows out with air. You're filling them. You're praying with more emphasis. أعطيناك ناكل كل kaf is clear. Okay, like we mentioned yesterday, it's not أعطيناقل, it's كل, the same as how you pray like in English how you say the word ka, but it's not as we're not putting the same emphasis, so it's not a ka. Imagine we're saying ka, like kaf. كل إنا أعطيناك الكوثر كوثر. Interesting point here. كل it's not كلا. Very common mistake. كلا no qalqala on the lam. We're committing to that lam, and we're making sure that we say it clearly, but we're not overdoing it by adding a bounce to it. Go. There's a waw here, so try not to make sure when you're praying the waw sukun, you're not praying go. It's not go. Thal, tha. Okay, make the tha sound. Tongue underneath the or just behind the front two teeth. Thal, tha. It's not a sin, it's a tha. Go, like in English how you say the word thobe, for example, or any. Just try to what I find easy and simple to try and understand is to try and relate the Arabic to the language that you're speaking already. So if it's the language of English, trying to find similarities in that, and sometimes I find doing that easier with students, especially young students. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر. Okay, no taqrar of the ra. No thar. thar. We're not doing rrr. Okay, we're doing thar, thar. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ وَانْحَرْ فَصَلِّ صاد full mouth letter خُصَّ ضَغَطٍ قِضْ صاد full mouth letter, meaning you fill your mouth with extra emphasis, extra effort. فَصَلِّ صَلِّ li lam kasra underneath the lam you have a kasra. فَصَلِّ li, the next lam, li, both empty mouth, both smile at the same time and try to do it. So it's not فَصَلَّ li i فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ رَبِّكَ را فتحة را full mouth رَبِّ bi. And there's actually an interesting point here on the letter ba. So speaking when you speak the language of English, whenever you say the letter B, that B is a lot more emphasized compared to the ba that you have in the Arabic letter. So the ba in the Arabic letter is very it's very delicate, it's a very sensitive letter, ba. But the letter B in English it kind of sounds like a BH. So a word like bat. Okay, bat. People put the extra emphasis on it. So just try to make sure we're touching the moist part of the lips together, meaning the inner lips together when reciting the letter ba, and just try to make it touch ever so slightly. Don't overdo it with the connection of the lips. So ba. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ bi kasra, yeah, empty mouth, smile and do it. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ رَبِّكَ ka, clear again, not ka, very clear. وَانْحَرْ wa fatha wa noon. Another common mistake here is that students will always pray, especially if they're not used to praying with Tajweed, they will pray وَنَحَرْ وَنَ. There's no one here. There's no qalqala on the letter noon sukun. It's one حَرْ okay, no qalqala. And sometimes, certain words come up that I mention to children. I'll say to them, well, in English, you don't bounce that word. So why are you bouncing in Arabic? I think today the word was fun, but you can do it here. So I said to the kid that in English, do you say I'm going to go outside and go have fun? Why would you do it? If you don't do it in English, just don't do it here. Try to apply the same rule. You're not going to go outside to have fun. You're going to go outside to have fun. And the same here. Well, I can't remember what the word was, but it was fun. But here you could use the same concept. One. Okay? One. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. Another common mistake here is because the ra sukun is a full mouth letter, then the preceding letter, the ha, can sometimes come out as ha. It's ha, middle of the throat. Ha is correct, ha is wrong. Ha is correct, ha is wrong. How فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ هُوَ الْأَبْتَرُ إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ هُوَ الْأَبْتَرُ إِنَّ غنى in the nose. E, not E. In, smile. A really common mistake here is that students will pray Inna shaniyaka niyaka. If you look inside, there's sheen, alif, fatha, sha, not sa, sha, Noon kasra ni, shani. And the students will pray niyaka. But if you look inside, the letter is a hamza. Hamza comes from the bottom of the throat. Very simple letter, but it's a letter that you have to make sure that you've got to just say clearly. So, as clearly and distinctly, so we understand there's clarity in the letter. So, inna shani'aka, ni'aka with the kaf. Inna shani'aka. So again, we are not praying. Inna shani'aka. Inna shani'aka huwal abtar. Huwal abtar. Huwala is a very common mistake. Huwala abtar. Not huwala. Huwal. Commit to it, pause it, move on. Huwal abtar. Don't join it all together. Huwal abtar. Huwal abtar. Huwal. No qalqala, no bounce on the lam. Huwal ab. Not ab. Alif fatha. Ba sukun. Ba is has a sukun on top of it, which means that it is you should know this by now, it is a qalqala letter. And what are the letters for qalqala? Qaf, ta, ba, jim, dal. 5 letters. Combined make qutubu jaddin. Say it with me. Qutubu jaddin. Make sure you're making your lips circular even when you're combining these letters so you get used to it. Qutubu jaddin. Qutubu jaddin. Qaf, ta, bal. Qaf, ta, ba, jim, dal. These are the 5 letters of qalqala, and these are the letters that we bounce. These are the letters that we echo. These are the letters that we rebound. Whatever definition you understand best, that's how it is. Huwal abtar. This is another common mistake, and I see this way too often, especially with children, because they're so worried about making sure that they pray the raw full mouth. They will say abtar, tar, ta. I was making a student say today, say it with me, ta, and he just started laughing because he understand how it was just funny to make these noises, but he then clearly understood the difference between ta and ta. Okay, tar, not tar, tar, slight that, tar. Inna shani'aka huwal abtar. Okay, we'll do it again one more time from the beginning, nice and slowly, so pray along with me. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر. إن شانئك هو الأبتر. صدق الله العظيم. Jazakallah for listening to Surah Kawthar, the Tajweed of Surah Kawthar. Insha'Allah, tomorrow we will be covering Suratul Kafirun, Insha'Allah. Just a big Jazakallah to everybody once again. Let us know how you are finding the sessions. Drop us a DM or message us in our posts. Let us know if there's anything further that you'd like to learn. Then please let us know, inshallah. And just carry on, liking our pages, sharing it to those who may benefit. And it might also be certain madrasas in your area that may benefit from these videos as well, inshallah. So just feel free to share it. And also on our YouTube page, Ilm Seeker Academy, make sure to like, share and subscribe, inshallah. Keep us all in your du'as. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.